Lake Mead has dropped 160 feet and lost about 6 trillion gallons of water since the year 2000. Las Vegas depends on the lake for 90% of its water. Within the next few years, the lake will turn to mud, the Bellagio fountains will dry up, home prices will plummet, and Las Vegas will cease to exist. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why Las Vegas will not be running out of water anytime soon. There's a lot of talk about Las Vegas becoming a ghost town, real estate prices crashing, and just an overall sense of gloom and doom. Well, guess what? I'm going to separate truth from fiction so that everyone can rest assured that the world is not ending. In fact, Las Vegas is arguably in the best position of any city that gets water from Lake Mead. In many ways, southern Nevada has been preparing for severe drought for decades. When the Hoover Dam was completed in 1936, that is what created Lake Mead, because the dam is used to hold back water from the Colorado River. Lake Mead fills up with water from the river and to this very day is the largest man-made reservoir in the country. The dam was built to provide irrigation water for farmers, create hydroelectric power, and to control seasonal flooding from the Colorado River. Let's start with the basics, shall we? The Colorado River begins in, you guessed it, Colorado. Now, the water from the river is shared between the country of Mexico and 7 states here in the US: Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Nevada. Someone doesn't like that. Right now you may be thinking, okay Jacob, good to know, but how do Mexico and 7 states in the US decide how to share this water? Well, I'm glad you asked. In 1922, they created an agreement called the Colorado River Compact, and that is the agreement still used to this day that dictates who gets what amount of water. This is where people, especially Nevadans, start to get pissed. If you look at how the water is divided, Nevada gets the smallest amount compared to other states by far. We are only allowed to use a whopping 1.8% of Lake Mead's water for all of the Vegas Valley. New Mexico is the next smallest, but even they get more than double what we do. California, of course, gets the largest percentage of the water, almost 27%, so that way they can continue to grow almonds and alfalfa in the desert. The first stupid idea that we're going to clear up regarding Lake Mead's low water levels is that it is somehow the fault of Las Vegas and its residents. I am so sick of hearing this one because so many people think that just because Lake Mead is in our backyard, that the current water crisis must be the fault of the Vegas area just recklessly spending water on pools, casino fountains, and building new green grass in new homes all across the Vegas Valley. But nothing could be further from the truth. Fun fact, Nevada does not even use all 1.8% of the water that we are allotted every single year. That is because Las Vegas is arguably the best city in the world for recycling and conserving water. People who blame Vegas for Lake Mead's water levels don't understand that almost all of the water that goes down the drain here in Las Vegas gets treated, gets filtered, and gets sent back out to the lake. Here's an amazing stat that will help hammer this point home. The Las Vegas area has added over 750,000 new residents since the year 2002, including yours truly, but the area uses 26% less water than it did 20 years ago. What made that possible was 2 solid decades of very intentional water conservation efforts. For example, millions of dollars have been spent incentivizing homeowners to use water-wise desert landscaping by paying them to remove grass from their front yards. Homeowners have been given rebates for using a pool cover to help prevent evaporation. Lawn watering restrictions have been in place for years, and planting grass in the front yards of new homes has been banned. Nevada made history by becoming the first state in the country restricting what they call non-functional grass. This is grass that you mostly see along roadways. It really serves no function other than being nice to look at. Just removing that is expected to save 10 billion gallons of water, which is 10% of our total water supply. With all the negativity in the news lately, you might be wondering, why is Southern Nevada not freaking out about the situation? Great question. One thing many people don't understand is that Las Vegas has direct access to Lake Mead's water via massive intake pipes, sometimes called straws. A lot of you have probably heard the scary sounding term dead pool lately. That's where the water level at Lake Mead gets so low, 895 feet above sea level to be precise, that the water can no longer actually flow through the dam. And at that point, we will no longer be able to send water through Hoover Dam to California, Arizona, and Mexico. But Vegas's water supply will not be disrupted if the lake actually reaches dead pool levels. That's because in 2008, the Southern Nevada Water Authority began a new project to build a third intake straw that can pump water from as low as 875 feet above sea level. This ensures that the Vegas Valley still has access to water even when other places downstream do not.
As the water level at Lake Mead potentially continues to drop in these drought conditions, Pumping Station 1 would become inoperable at a lake elevation of 1,050 feet. Pumping Station 2 would become inoperable at an elevation of 1,000 feet. However, our third intake tunnel extends 2.5 miles toward the center of Lake Mead, giving us the ability to pull drinking water from the deepest part of the lake. Combine that with the power of our low lake level pumping station, and it allows us to draw water from below 900 feet, ensuring Southern Nevada has access to its full share of Lake Mead. It's below 900 feet where no water can be released through Hoover Dam downstream to users in California, Arizona, and Mexico.
The straw was finished in 2015, the pumping station was finished in 2020 at a cost of $1.5 billion to help ensure that the Vegas Valley will still have access to water even in an emergency situation. So basically, even after California gets its access to the water cut off, the Las Vegas Valley will be fine for years. Vegas didn't cause this problem, but we are in the best position to deal with it, mainly through an ingenious system of water recycling and conservation, and having the ability to pump water from Lake Mead at levels that other places do not have access to. Despite what you may have heard, Las Vegas is almost definitely not going to run out of water in the next 5, 10, or even 20 years. Now, you do see people out here on boats. Someone came down here with jet skis earlier. So people can still come out here and, for the time being, they're still able to do those fun outdoor activities. But as time goes on in the summer, that may go away.